Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sigma Empath podcast. This is the rant edition. Vital Germain with my sidekick, Confucius. He's here to support with all his wisdom and insights. Today, I want to talk about enlightenment, how it applies to what's currently going on in our world. A part of my belief system is based on two platforms, and I want to share that with you, hopefully with the intention of inspiring you to think and view life differently. I'm also going to challenge you and invite you to talk about your belief systems, because enlightenment is arguably a belief system, a philosophy, a life philosophy. My name is Vital Germain once again. I'm the author of Pink is the Color of Empathy, a 360 guide to all things empath, including narcissist recovery. And my other book is all about creativity, aka what I view as open-mindedness. Think like an artist. Enlightenment, belief systems. I want to start the gauntlet by inviting you immediately. What belief system do you subscribe to? It can be religious, it can be philosophical, it can be political. The whole reason for this platform is to invite discussion, debate. It's a community on the foundation of, again, empathy and creativity. And the challenge is, in expressing your belief system, you are going to read the belief system of others. And the objective is to remain respectful, cordial, and open-minded, empathetic to belief systems that are different to yours. I was raised very Catholic, and I'm no longer a practicing Catholic. But I can acknowledge, even though I've completely stepped away, I can acknowledge the value that it brought to me, and I can understand and see the value that it brought to others. I can see the value that Islam brings to Muslims. I can see the value that Russian Orthodox brings to the Russian Orthodox community. I can see the value in all belief systems. I just choose to subscribe to none. I would put myself in the category of what's called humanism. It is, some definitions of humanism will suggest that a humanist is atheist. I'm neither atheist, I'm not agnostic, I'm open to everything and nothing, meaning I believe it's possible, I believe it could be not possible. I remain open. Going back to the Enlightenment. Enlightenment was born in the 17th and 18th century. It was an era where philosophy came to the forefront. It was an era where people started to think and disconnect from tradition. They started to challenge the status quo as they moved into a new era of thinking. And it stimulated, inspired the French Revolution. It inspired the Civil War in the United States, because all of a sudden people were thinking differently. And that creates a bit of a clash, because you've got the old school thinking and you've got this new age, maybe potentially a spiritual way of thinking, which leads me to another question. Do you consider spirituality and religion one and the same? Do they overlap? Are they the same? Are they entirely different? I'd love to hear your feedback. So let's talk about the age of enlightenment. Some of the core traits and the ideas of the age of enlightenment are reason. If we implement reason, it means that we disconnect from our biases and we look at the big picture and analyze things from multiple perspectives. That's reason. So that was one of their core foundations, and you'll see some of the similarity. If you are a US citizen, you will see some of the overlap in the US Constitution and the Age of Enlightenment. Liberty was another foundation, the idea that people have a right to be free. Why do I bring all of this up? Because of our current climate. I'm not going to take sides per se in this podcast, but the current climate in America particularly, which is going to overlap and impact Europe. We are reaching a major moment of intense division. But let's go back to Age of Enlightenment. So we had reason, we had liberty, we have equality. The idea that all people are equal. And this is something that I truly believe in. I honor, admire, invite differences. I love uniqueness. I personally love diversity. And the challenge of human diversity is, how can we respect somebody for being different, yet how do we find a way to still coexist? It's a utopian notion that I subscribe to. I believe it can be done through respect. Individual rights is another platform of enlightenment. The idea that people have rights that cannot be taken away. Again, sounds very familiar with the US Constitution. By the way, also let me know, where are you listening in from? Are you from Europe? Are you from the United States? Are you from Canada? Are you from Eastern Europe or an Arabic country maybe? Because the intention is to invite different philosophies from around the world. So please share your thoughts. Be respectful. It is not about degrading or condemning somebody else. It is about considering their perspective. It is about being enlightened. Then we have separation of church and state. The idea that the church and state should be separate. If only that were true in America, it would be a beautiful thing. Freedom of speech. The idea that people should be free to express. Now, this is going to be very contentious. There's a level of hypocrisy with that phrase, freedom of speech, because we censor hate speech. Then that's not freedom of speech. And this is really a complex concept. I'm open to hate speech. I don't like hate speech. But you have the right to express your anger, your vitriol, your dislike. You have that right. I draw the line when it comes to any form of oppression, physical abuse, degradation. You can say and think what you like, but you can't implement the things that you hate about me, for example. Then freedom of religion, the idea that people should be free to practice their religion. Again, I'm all open to that. Every religion for me has value. It brings value to the community. So again, I'm asking you, what do you believe in? Why do you believe in it? What value has it brought you? And why are you that belief? This is another thing about enlightenment. It frees you from any indoctrination, meaning that religion is oftentimes based on where you were born and who your parents were. So is that freedom of choice? I don't know. What are the effects of the age of enlightenment? I've mentioned it before. The age of enlightenment led to the American Revolution because all these principles are the foundation of America. Yet right now we're not quite living that. And this podcast is not political. This is philosophical. I don't know if you can see the difference. This is a philosophical podcast episode. The effects of enlightenment: it inspired the abolition of slavery in many places. It led to the founding of Georgia, a colony that was intended to be a place for the poor to start over again. So there's a lot of romanticism built in enlightenment. And again, it's about being open-minded, creative thinking, critical thinking, challenging the status quo, challenging yourself, being introspective and asking yourself, why do I believe in these things? Asking yourself, for as much as you can be objective, are these things inherently good? And if they are good, who are they good for? And if the answer is they're only good for you, then you've got to go deeper and ask, is that the right way to live? Is that the right way to live? Many of you have asked, why the name the Sigma Empath? Well, my foundation is empathy. I'm an empath. I'm highly sensitive to emotions. I'm highly sensitive to the exterior world. I try to be as aware as I can of myself. In terms of Sigma, Sigma is neither what I view as the toxic alpha male who is driven by power and control and domination and enforcing their will, being the center of attention, etc., and the traditional beta male who is allegedly submissive and timid. The Sigma male or the Sigma female, the Sigma is a character type that doesn't subscribe to any specific philosophy. They are independent thinkers. They follow their own path. They follow their intuition. And again, this might now sound pretentious, if not arrogant. They live by a moral code that is what I would consider enlightened. So once again, I'm inviting you, share your thoughts. Other than the Sigma Empath, I view myself as a humanist. Humanism is about the collective wellness of the species of humankind. That's what I believe in. That is my philosophy. That is my foundation for being. Let me know what your thoughts are on enlightenment. Let me know what your thoughts are on humanism. Share your belief systems. And again, please keep it respectful. The objective of this community is a community. It is for us to be safe in the essence of who we are. And I chose, or rather the name Confucius was given to this panda because I believe in a lot of the wisdom of Confucius. I don't subscribe to everything Confucius said, but there was a lot of wisdom that has enabled me, inspired me to become what I consider an enlightened human being. Everybody, thank you for listening to the Sigma Empath podcast, the Rant edition.